There just really comes a time when you just need to call for an artist to do your shit for you. I mean, there's a character on my TV screen or monitor that I just really want to punch in the face. And I just want to leave at least a little bloodshed behind, possibly busting up my knuckles. Or maybe... It's not the same, there's no fear!
Man, you're one violent son of a bitch.
I'm not violent, I just do what people I don't like involuntarily ask. To colour their face with black and blue, sever the symmetry from the centre of their face, and see what new patterns I can form with their teeth. Cringing yet? Well, if not now, then be sure to look forward to the top 10 characters I'd happily punch in the face in video games. Now I'm adding one special rule besides from that one per franchise. No characters that I've already beaten up or killed within the game. So for example, Hermes from God of War, who found out what happens when the cheetah can't escape, and Omochao, whose gears I would pretty much rip out to sell for a very cheap price because he's not worth that much. This is because, well, I've already killed them or dealt with them in some way, then I feel like they've already been taken care of because that's pretty much a symbol of me letting out all the steam. Now, I don't think I need to tell people not to take this too seriously. I mean, I don't condone violence in any way, only sarcasm. So if you do take this seriously in any sort of way, then there is a place that you can get rehabilitated. So besides from that, let's roll! I find that just being one bully in Ace Attorney that totally needs a slap on the bottom, and because she's a dominant force, possibly even dominatrix, might be strong enough to take such a pounding, and that, members of the court, is the one and only Franziska von Karma. Don't get me wrong, she's an interesting character and proves to be a relentless opposing threat to not just Phoenix, but Edgeworth, and also the paparazzi. Yeah, she's lower because she whips lots of hearts, but let me give you an example of how bad she can really be. I don't take sugar in my tea.
Take it like a man!
I think your hair looks nice that way.
Do not make fun of my other styles!
Fucking hell! Hi.
Refer to me as your grace!
Oh, Jesus! Not gonna lie, that whip is kinda sexy. Why'd you stop? This woman has gotta stop thinking she towers above everyone else because I get sick of her horrible Ivy impression. It's her stubborn attitude and not learning from her mistakes that earns her this spot, and who can blame me? You think she's going to change after a heart-to-heart with Edgeworth, but no. She starts hitting people again and again and again and again! She has no doubts about people she knows too well being killers and makes shitty excuses to prosecute people she's not even meant to prosecute. For once in my life, Winston Payne, I need you! Come do your shit job for the greater good! How did the future of law end up in such a mess that they allow armed people in open court to fully assault people? So since there is no apparent law on it this day and age, prepare, Francisca. Right, come with me, sir. What? I'm arresting you on grounds of assault. But that's bullshit. She's armed. Sir. She's the daughter of a killer. Calm down, sir. She's an annoying prossy. We're gonna need backup. She fucking hit me! The law does not condone retaliation. Through playing Sonic Adventure, try getting 130 emblems and imply one of the most annoying ways to get them, which is to complete Big the Cat's level B and A missions. They entail catching a 1000 gram fish and Froggy for level B, and a 2000 gram fish as well as Froggy again for level A, which at best took me 2 hours to do because it took me getting used to Big's cryptic controls. Seriously, I had to figure all this shite out myself. But no, that doesn't seem like a good reason to want to smack someone. He does have a few screws loose, and it'll be good to knock him back into reality. And those screws will make his head sound like a rattle, and I like percussion. Firstly, he is completely oblivious to everything around him unless it concerns some random frog he picked out of the wild by pointing what he thought was a gun and was actually a magpie at his family. All I hear all the time is, Froggy, Froggy, Froggy. Yeah, that's cool, we'll get your Newt Frog friend back, but if you stop losing him every time you catch him in a stage, we wouldn't be on this goose frog chase. How do you even lose a frog? Especially when he's on the other side of the area after you lose him. You're the slowest character in the game, yet the fastest ladder climber? Talk about selective talents. How can Froggy even be your friend when number one, it's a frog that isn't the same kind of frog or animal as any other animal in the Sonic universe, and two, almost every scene looks like he's being abducted and wants to get free. Let's not forget Sonic Heroes, which proves my theory of Big being a selfish user and possibly abuser. He hardly cares when the whole town is under attack by a giant water monster in his first game. I bet you he's thinking, I could use them to get Froggy back. Yeah, he saves Cream in the first cutscene of Sonic Heroes, but only because if he loses her, he won't get Froggy back. So really, Pick the Twat is an obsessive, selfish abuser, and I pity him more than anything else. Now, I may be Welsh, but come on, Irish. You can make better friends than this. I mean, who says boyo within these 200 years? Norway or Norway?
Who do you think you are, boyo?
I'm a fucking tidy boy, so shut up, you scurvy munter. Now, don't get me wrong, again, I love Irish. He's a hilarious drunken Irish immigrant and would be so much fun to drink forms of whiskey cocktails with. And by that, I mean Jack Daniels mixed with Captain Morgan Spice. Which is rum, of course, I know that. It's just that sometimes you need to punch people to make them feel better. Or just make them a better person in general. Snap them out of things. He can owe you a favor, and when you're met with a serious issue, you say, okay, Irish, we're gonna go in and take him out, okay? Irish? You'll probably take me dead! Now, I guess his favors don't include killing or getting killed. I prefer the latter. But come on, dude. At least warn me, because I'm a bit stuck here. This isn't your average paintball match where I can cheat and have as many goes as I want. This is a character that doesn't even learn from his mistakes. Don't lure yourself into being one of those foolish drunkards that take a piss on the seat of a nightclub, only to get grabbed in a bit of a floppy place and thrown out. So Irish, get your shit together and stop letting people down. And move to King's Landing. That joke was bollocks. Just wanted to find the Game of Thrones fans after gathering the supernatural ones.
Sign.
Who really doesn't hate Bubsy here? That animal who showed up on our PS1 to make it look like we were playing a Nintendo Potato with its high-tech 1-bit output? I'm not the only one who hates Bubsy. Hate is a strong word, meaning many people can share it. Everyone talks so much about this cat mule, so is there any way for me to be totally original or even creative? I could try the black stuff on my face thing again. Guess that's my forte. Okay, well, I think Bubsy's hyper attitude really got the better of him. Like really, when you have a text alert of Navi's voice on your phone... Shut up. You want to bitch at anything with a high-pitched voice guiding you through a pile of expired coleslaw of what I can call a game. Case in point, Bubsy tried to make himself stand out. He had a brick thrown at his head, and now he lingers in a sewer in Mexico City. You tried, and I succeeded in tossing your game into the river. I won't show the video because it is very graphic. Piranhas ate it and died of shock. This is the most controversial entry, and for reasons that are extremely debatable against morality, despite really needing that in a rundown future with human parasects. I swear, ever since this game came out, who is the entry now? People have been pointing out on my disturbing Pokemon Round 2 video about how Parasect is based off the Cordyceps and how The Last of Us is influenced by it. Get on with it! This is a build-up, shut up! The narrative for this game feels really solid and so real with its great writing and splendid directing, as well as the survival tactics you're forced to undertake. Like these characters are stuck in a world of a lack of trust like you see with The Walking Dead. Joel is such a character, and don't get me wrong for the 100th time, I think Joel is a great character. His tragic past seeps into him like an infection and really affects how he cares about other people. Until Ellie comes into the picture, that is. She kind of brought Joel to certain revelations all throughout the game. And really, the whole game brings out the selfish acts of Joel each time. He even carried these traits when Sarah was still alive to some extent. Which to me it seems like Joel can only care about one person at a time, I suppose. He feels responsible and I understand that, but all those selfish acts such as wanting his brother to escort Ellie instead and such, it all builds up to the final part when Joel learns about how her surgery will kill her to find a vaccine. Joel then proceeds to kill everyone to get up to the room and save her, killing innocent doctors in the process. Well, I believe the correct term is brutalizing. He then kills one of Ellie's good friends so that she doesn't follow her in the future. But the biggest part for me was when he lied about the incident. Well, more so stretching the truth. He picks up one memo that describes past patients, which explains how all the other hopes for vaccinations have failed. Which by that I think you gotta ask, is she really the final hope for mankind? Now if you think that is Joel's reasoning, though, he can use that as a scapegoat. He made his decision to save Ellie before he found out about the memos. So in other words, it was leverage. And 2 other memos from Marlene discussing how she kinda has to suck up to these decisions made by the doctors and the Fireflies. All through the game he has these kind of selfish acts, and do they go on? Maybe. Joel is one of the only characters in narrative that is actually portrayed as just human, neither good or bad. So I think it's unfair to say that I'm wrong because I have a different opinion.
You're allowed to either like him or hate him. I don't care if you don't want to punch him. You shouldn't care if I want to punch him. So the reason I'd happily punch Joel in the face is because I'm a human as well, and it's good for humans to punch other humans. One thing I do not like in this world, and that's total cynicism. When you think the world is totally fucked and it's never going to change for the better. Bullshit. If you contain the effort to change, then things are more guaranteed to change that way. You have negativity and you have positivity. Two negatives do not make a positive. That only happens when you multiply two negatives. When you multiply two positives, they make a positive. Okay? And we're adding. We are not multiplying or dividing.
He could have saved a lot of people from getting their face pulled apart by a bloater and starting again from the checkpoint.
And I feel I'm beating around the bush with this now. Joel did not do this because he thought the world was going to be totally fucked. Maybe that was a subconscious thought, or that was a thoughtless thought. For that split second, when that guy directed him out of the room, he thought what his life was going to be like without Ellie. It's sad, and I feel for the guy, and I think I need to punch him to kind of make him wake up to things. And I think that would be me doing him a favor. So I like Joel. I'll never be his friend because he wouldn't want to be my friend. Why does friendship have to be so hard?
From this moment on, most characters just need to be slapped back into reality, have their head pulled out of their ass, and just see sense for what it's worth. And that's the issue with our first candidate.
I found the Origami Killer. Everyone's happy. End of story.
Obvious fake out never fails to annoy people because a lot of you have short fuses. It's true, Blake is an arsehole and all, who actually got punched by Norman Jaden, so that's fair game. However, you then get a wolf in sheep's clothing who supports and possibly fuels the actions of Blake to supposedly not get his hands dirty. Leighton Perry. Could anyone else have this calm and collected attitude? Yes, but they wouldn't be collecting a load of bollocks to deal to the FBI agents. You want to question why the FBI takes interest in this case? How about you focus on the coincidental kidnaps of children instead of your poor and sad reputation? Well, yeah, okay, a corrupt cop is a person who cares about putting on a fake smile in front of the press instead of serving justice, and I pledge allegiance. Don't bore me. I seriously think these two are long-lost siblings. How else to explain the endorsement of police brutality and force them to arrest without conclusive proof? If Ethan went to the police to report his missing child, how would that immediately say he's the killer?
You can't make omelets without breaking a few eggs.
Such a wanker! Now I assume you remember Cool Cool Mountain and how there were two missions that stood out a bit. Little Penguin Lost and Big Penguin Race. Both featured a cold-minded penguin and a rule shark penguin. Penguin shark. Time for some genetic engineering mess-ups. But anyway, considering the first penguin, who the hell leaves their child at the top of a bloody mountain to fend for itself against deadly snowmen? And better yet, who gave you the bright idea to go all that way down just to say you lost your baby? And how the hell is your baby the same color as you when it's a baby?
Exhibit A. Exhibit go fuck yourself.
I am led to believe that they are based off emperor penguins, or somewhat not. Next, there's another penguin which isn't yours, and what do? Nothing. It doesn't look like you, apparently. It's not supposed to look like you! Keep them both. Where the hell is your compassion? But then again, most birds like you care more about singing than friendship. The other penguin isn't too bad. I mean, he's more annoying than anything else. You take a well-known shortcut to which he's too fat to fit in? You're a cheat. You risk your life jumping down to a lower ground? You're a cheat. No, I'm an acrobat! Okay, I'll do it the seemingly hard way. But I still gotta wonder why you exist in the first place. Testing me for a star that enables me to save a princess who wants to be captured. In a nutshell, these penguins are fucking selfish and have the kind of mindset I like to call Mario mentality. Only in the Elder Scrolls and many other war fantasy settings do we have people guarding cities. And even then, they're not that bad. Well, those kids from Fallout 3 pissed me off but led to one of the best missions in the game. But why does Pokemon even need these people? The worst thing is that they don't even know what they're doing half the time. And then he apologizes to you for being rude when you don't even talk to him in the first place. Huh? Another notable person is a guy who constantly stops you not because you don't have a badge yet, but because he wants you to buy a Rage candy bar. When the fuck do you run out of these things? Even scamming salespeople on the phone aren't this bad. And that's saying a hell of a lot. Especially when they call me to ask if the house owner is in, and when I say no, they hang up straight away. This is someone who straight up asks you to get him right between the eyes. Maybe shove 40 Rage candy bars up his nose. Okay man, good luck. I hope you come across some rare findings. I'd call you stupid, but that makes people of your caliber sound almost smart. Excuse me, mate, people need to pass. Knock out your Rattata and move somewhere else. Later that day, I will never respect you. Is it wise to punch it, or? So it's wise to say that all of these people have no right in obstructing a kid, and if I ever became a policeman, I would arrest them on the spot. I know, you gotta get the badge and all, but still, what authority do these guys have? Is everyone else in the town oblivious to this or something? Because if you aren't, we need to start a mob. We're not even talking about you. Arrogant prick. What is Diglett with arms doing lecturing me on resetting? Oh, resetting! I haven't understood that for years. Now I get it, but I still wish he had no balls to reproduce with. He'll never know when I strike that button. Or even worse, with my crappy expert computer science skills, I can remove his coding from the game. Turn him into a life-size robot that feels pain, and you know what will happen next. I'll punch him in the face. He boasts about himself to overcompliment the dirt on his face, and a troll attempt by Nintendo to put him as a trophy in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and actually offers no benefit besides from me being able to eat your words for lunch. And also your face. So do I really have to say more? He's a waste of space, he's an annoying twat, and instead of punching him, I'd just rather hit him with his own pickaxe and then read an entire essay on porridge over his corpse. Question: who acts like an arsehole? Is a self-righteous prick, dishonors honourable men, and pretends to like you after you're dead? Okay, maybe your ex, but maybe your girlfriend isn't as tall as this guy, or a man for that matter. Personally, I think Roy Earl oversteps the boundary of boundaries, which is beyond Fort Knox, and just about manages to press the buttons of almost everybody in the room, including his superior, who in fairness is a dick in his own right. But what gets me is that he gets away with everything. Exposing Cole to a society that believes your personal life has everything to do with you protecting the innocent. Check. Being less tolerable than Rusty. Check. Yeah, I didn't like Rusty. Right here, in my white eye. No love for Biggs? And it doesn't really help when an abbreviation for his name is Royal, because he's also a big royal baby, and he needs a smacked ass. The best way to describe Roy Earl is that he's also a wolf in sheep's clothing, or a giraffe in sheep's clothing, because he's tall and giraffes are slightly dickish. I don't fucking know. If there was anyone to host my eulogy, it would be Kelso, because we made up in the end sort of and fought hard battles, and I liked him as a character. Yes, he helps Cole get promoted. Only to what? Catch him off guard at a very crucial moment and then stab him in the back? Everything Cole says in this one scene puts Earl down like Thor hitting a hoppip. Well, I say hummingbird, that's a bit less abstract. The worst thing I can possibly do to this guy is call him very mean names. He smells like the carcass of a 6-month damp protein-powered porcupine shat on by a falcon that a deer caught and swallowed and then shat on the smell. He looks and acts like a demented version of Ryan Seacrest after winning the Ashes, all over his body. And I just think he wasn't a very nice man. Maybe he's still alive, but punching an old man? Nah, it's obvious that he traded his soul to be forever young. Too bad he's ugly because he looks like an arsehole. Damn, Roy, you taste bad. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you know that I don't punch anything that moves. Although I'd have to make very long intervals before hitting a punching bag. So, as a public service announcement to make, do not waste your anger on those who feed off it. It will only leave you weak, and possibly then strong. Instead, either let them know that what they do will never affect you because their HP will stay at 1 and will never regain because they're lonely and poor bastards. They're hoping to succeed off your struggles, so use their words for your own fun and enjoyment. So if you like this video, remember to watch other stuff on this channel, Let's Plays, Mismadventures, I like to call them, new Key Banter series which I'm going to work on more on, and the next episode is going to be something Pokemon related, finally. And be sure to pitch in for my Q&A. Remember to stalk me on Twitter and Tumblr, love me on Facebook, check out my other channel as well where I do this kind of stand-up stuff where I just come here and talk in a camera but say things related to other topics within some sort of relevance, you know, leading, no misleading. And other than that, I wish you a very good day, or night. This is 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife left me, and now I'm alone. Alone with the door open, never have doors open. Try and look to see other observation to fill in the gap for more minutes, no? Lights out. What the hell did Justine do to these guys to make them batshit insane? Or is it just a delusion that there is no decent man in the world? I'm lovesick.